Hi everyone, happy Easter. Oh, you maybe thought Easter was last Sunday, but actually Easter is a season, and Easter goes on for 6 weeks, just like Lent did. And so today is the second Sunday of Easter, and I'd like to share a story with you. It comes from the Gospel of John, chapter 14, verses 1 through 7, and chapter 20, verses 24 through 29. Thomas asks questions. Don't ask so many questions, Thomas. That's what Thomas's teachers said at school. That's what Thomas's parents said at home. That's what Thomas's friends said. But Thomas couldn't help it. When the rabbi, the teacher, told them things in school, Thomas often asked, "How do you know?" Sometimes the rabbi was angry. "I know just because I know, Thomas. It is true because I said so." Thomas had to be quiet, but he didn't like the teacher's answer. Thomas was sad when his questions made people angry, but he couldn't stop asking. When Thomas grew older, he became one of Jesus' special friends. He became a disciple. Thomas liked Jesus because Jesus never told him to stop asking questions. One day, Jesus was trying to explain what was going to happen. "I am going away," said Jesus. "I am going to get a place ready for you. God's house has a room for you and for everyone else. You know the way to God's house." "No, we don't," said Thomas. "What is the way?" "That's a good question, Thomas," smiled Jesus. "I am the way. If you really love me and love each other, then you know the way." "I still don't understand all of it," said Thomas. "That's okay," said Jesus. "Just keep asking questions." Not long after that, Jesus died. He was killed by people who didn't like the way he said that God loved everyone. Thomas was very sad when Jesus was killed. So when some of the other disciples said that Jesus was alive again, Thomas really wanted to believe them, but he couldn't. His mind kept asking questions. How can somebody be dead and then be alive again? When some of the disciples told Thomas they had seen Jesus, Thomas asked, "How can you be sure it was Jesus? How do you know it wasn't somebody else?" "But we saw him with our own eyes," said the disciples. "Maybe," said Thomas, "but I have to see for myself. I have to see the places in Jesus' hands where they put the nails. Otherwise, I won't believe." A few days later, Thomas said to his friends, Thomas and his friends were all together, and all the doors were closed, but suddenly there was Jesus in the room with them. He smiled at Thomas. "Come here, my friend. Touch the places where they put the nails. It really is me." Thomas began to cry. He was so happy to see Jesus. "Oh yes, it is you, Jesus. I am so glad. Now I know that you are alive again. I won't ask any more questions." "Oh, don't stop asking questions, Thomas," said Jesus. "I'm glad you were able to see me so that you can be sure. Then you can believe. But there will be lots of people who won't be able to see me. They will ask questions too. It will be hard for them to believe, just as it was hard for you to believe. I will need you to help tell my story. You mean you're not angry because I didn't believe right away that you were alive again? Thomas asked. No, not angry at all, said Jesus. I like it when people ask hard questions. But you won't understand everything, Thomas. You will never find answers to all your questions. Just remember that I love you and that God loves you. Nobody can prove that part, but it is the part that is most true. And that's the story of Thomas asking questions. See you next time. Bye-bye.